what we could say about game number 1, right? I felt like Team Secret Whales needed to play well the whole game, whereas Top Esports got the setup, and then just kind of the dominoes fell from there.
Yeah, for the first few minutes of lane, everything was kind of even, it was kind of chill, and then...
We did have the latest first blood.
Exactly. Top got a kill or two, and then all of a sudden, these little incremental lane leads that were building kind of blew up, and they're like, oh, he's 1k up, he's 1k up, he's 1k up, and then, yeah, it never really felt close
after that. It's like Creme got one successful roam, and then, oh, you're too far behind.
Yep, exactly. And D-Ray, I think they need him to have those kind of performances like he did in the first game, right? He's got to be able to stay relevant. He's got to be able to stay in there. I also just didn't like their draft, to be honest. I feel like the over-prioritization of the Bard really kind of bit them, because if you're going to go Bard, I feel like you need to go for a strong laning pairing, but then they let Caitlyn and Xin and Ezreal all fall through, you know, all get banned out, and then the MF just never got any value.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they can do here, as we already have a whole bunch of bans coming through thick and fast. The Akali, the Camille, and that Poppy, both all banned away. And there is the Varus, Cassio, and the Orianna. First pick, Wukong from Top Esports, as we did have the choice of second pick here for Team Secret Whales as well, which is quite interesting. We'll see what they're going to get off the back of it.
If I'm TSW's coach as well, I feel like ZUIAN has looked the most uncomfortable of any player, and I feel like Pun has been the X factor in their games.
Yeah.
I would not be putting him on a tank, right? I would be giving this guy some prio, give him some counter picks, see if you can get ZUIAN looking uncomfortable. You know, even against HLE, when he was playing the volley, he looked fantastic. His Olaf game, he solo killed him, was a really big part of their win in that game as well. So to me, I feel like I want to see resources given towards Pun. I want to see him getting spicy with the counter picks. He can play all kinds of stuff. So while the Ornn obviously makes sense into the Rumble, I just feel like you don't want to play standard against this team. You want to cook.
Yeah. And already, Team Secret Whales actually with a really strong core, right? As far as the jungle and bottom lane are concerned, Xin with Karma is very, very powerful. With Enchanters just in general is very strong. But on the other side, the Ashe Seraphine has been quite strong themselves, and there's so much chain CC already here from Top Esports.
There really is, and my only kind of feeling that I'm a little bit nervous about with TSW for their first 3 is they have no engage, right? You do have good poke, you do have a good 2v2, but TES have a pretty good 2v2 as well, and you have Wukong go button, you have Ashe arrows, you have Encore, you have a lot of tools to actually start the fights, and so I'm curious to see where TSW is going to take us. The Annie getting banned out, that is something that Creme is obviously very, very comfortable on, one of his most played, and would be an additional engage tool. But I was kind of thinking that, you know, even D-Ray might go towards something along those lines, because they are going to need either to just like fully commit to poke and play side lanes, you know, go for a counter pick for Pun and play TF or something like that, or you need some more engage tools. And the volley, I respect it, man. Ban that thing out. He was just a beast on it, and he solo killed you in game 1, so don't put ZUIAN in an uncomfortable matchup.
Yep, I actually think protecting the top lane is going to be a huge deal. The problem is, if you have to ban Volley Bear when you're protecting the top lane matchup, you're going to run out of bans very, very quickly. So we'll see what is going to happen. The Ambessa is going to be the trade of bans, as we have one for mid, one for top, trying to make sure that they can get into a spot that they're happy with.
Makes a lot of sense, because that's the matchup that he picked the volley into. So he's saying, okay, you're trying to protect ZUIAN so he can play an Ambessa. It was also ZUIAN's best game of the entire tournament by a lot. Was his game 1 Ambessa against G2. Looked really dominant on that, so it makes sense just as something to take away. And it is going to be the Shen ban. Very interesting. So worried about a potential Shen coming out here for Pun. That makes me think they're going to play Sion, because that's the matchup that a lot of pro players in the meta really do like Shen into. Shen is pretty good into tanks in general. You can once you especially get towards your Titanic, you have really good wave clear, and you're able to interrupt, you know, the charge Q of the Sion with taunts pretty easily. So kind of curious about that. If they are going to just go towards that Sion.
There are a lot of very cool ultimates. D-Ray is going to be on the Sylas. Exactly right. They've got engage from a whole bunch of different angles, be it a Cyclone or an Encore or an Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Or now he could also just drive in if this Sion is going to be locked in. Exactly what you were saying. Just wanting to lock this one away for just a pretty comfortable blind pick in that top lane and let ZUIAN have a better time here, try and recoup after some difficult laning matchups so far.
Yeah, and there's tons of different things you can actually play into the Sion, but Most of the other picks are going to be things he's seen 1,000 times. Interesting that Sion is 0-6 so far at MSI. Hasn't won a game if those stats were correct that popped up. But I would love to see Pun Cook, give him freedom, go crazy. I would super respect it. This guy plays Urgot, this guy plays Jax, this guy plays all kinds of stuff. So, if he wants to cook on something, that would be a lot of fun to see. It could even go, Gwen does make sense. That is something that we did see actually from Bin yesterday, and he was able to build a really big advantage. And then
it's Sett instead. All right. That was not what I was expecting.
That's a good cook. Yeah,
and that's going to be a whole lot of fun towards the top side. Man, imagine slamming a Sion into his team.
Sion.
That's a lot of value.
It is, and it is also a miserable champion to play against as any tank in the game. There's legit no tanks to have fun into Sett. You walk up, you charge your Q, he gets a free E, stuns you. True damage on the W, takes the trades aggressively. Tanks generally are not equipped to burst down the Sett either, so he gets so much out of that True Grit passive.
And you can never use your Unstoppable Onslaught to engage, like at any point, because then he just grabs you and slams you into all your buddies, and then you have no way of getting back into the fight afterwards. I think this is an absolute masterstroke from Team Secret Wales, and in comparison to their last draft, which even from the outset, we're like, how are you supposed to win with this? Yeah, that was definitely a bit of an amateur. It was this is my first time strike. It's not a very good move. And this time around, things looking way, way better. Man, I love Pun. Oh, it's so good seeing this guy just do whatever the heck he wants and make it work. The Volley Bear, even though they didn't win that series, looked absolutely terrifying. And now on the Sett. It's kind of crazy. So the last Sett that we saw was Whippo in 2025 at MSI. So he also went for a similar cook. But I swear the last time I saw it was like Life playing it in support. But it's certainly a pick that has been hidden.
And he did bring it out once this split, won with it in this exact matchup. They won the game in 22 minutes.
Oh.
So that's pretty quick.
Yeah, I would put that on the fast side. All right, the Lumberjack gonna try and do what he can here. It's Tian with the Akuma skin, which is one of my favorites. And this is Creme on the Hwei once again. I feel like the Sett really did kind of distract us from what Emily was talking about earlier on in the day, which was Creme not being able to pick up the victory on the Hwei, but also having a good performance on it just in general and having looked pretty good on this champion so far this season. So we'll see whether this can be the victory that he gets to pick up as Pun with the Haymaker to start this one off, and he's just going to be punching.
Interesting. The W start is not something that I would have expected. Most sets do just start either E or Q in my experience and kind of just run at you and take those level 1 trades. But of course, if you can build up the True Grit, you're just forcing fights, and you can see that's exactly what he's doing. You can see that True Grit is just being built up, trying to push him back and look for those aggressive trades and just get value out of that passive. You get low, you regen up, you're expecting the Sion cannot burst you down.
This skin confuses me, by the way, Isaac.
Which one?
The Sett skin, he looks too much like Udyr.
That's true.
He's like wandering around like, where's the Phoenix stance? I was so confused I interrupted you. I apologize, but I felt like it needed to be said while it was on screen.
When you said it, now I'm not going to be able to unsee it. Yeah. I'm like, why is this guy not using his Phoenix stance?
Yeah, why isn't he doing the flash bear slap like Quickshot told me about?
In 2 minutes?
Yeah.
What are you doing, buddy?
Wait, but he seems to punch them and then he gets his mana back.
Oh.
That's looking really good.
Tiger stance.
Yeah, they've done too many updates to these champions, man.
Keep up.
Udyr looks really weird. They've even called him Sett now. Okay, enough of that. Let's have a look at how these lanes are going. Creme having a good time in the melee matchup, as you would expect. Just wanting to hold the Sylas at bay. And ZUIAN, at least for now, is doing all right.
Yep. Yeah, and in these kind of matchups, especially melee versus melee, you want to be able to harass, you want to be able to trade. So he wants to fully reset the wave, but ZUIAN is just not allowing him to. He's standing in between the tower and the range minions, not allowing those range minions to actually bounce, so the wave is not really coming back to Pun in the way that he wants. Now, this is the way you play these bad matchups. You need to keep the wave stuck there, because if the wave is in a neutral state, Sett can literally walk past the minions and you can't even walk up. It gets really, really ugly. So it's so much about your wave management in a matchup like this, and ZUIAN showing he understands that. See, he's just never going to let those range minions crash. He's just going to stand here over and over.
Yep. And I think the Facebreaker is going to be necessary in interrupting a lot of these queues. And Pun, we just saw a demonstration of that just now. One of the reasons why this matchup can be so devastating. But like you were saying, wave management certainly working out so far for ZUIAN. Even if he is falling further and further behind as far as farm, he is not likely to die. Yeah. Team Secret Whales with the shove here towards his bottom side. The Ezreal Karma doing what it says on the tin, which is win lane. And that is going to be that. Still, Jackie and fengyue doing a decent job here. Mystic shot needed to land from Eddie to allow them to win out on that matchup as Dia finds the chain, slinks in between the minions actually. The Creme has the answer, as Hwei generally does with his a billion buttons.
Yeah, and the fear is just so difficult to deal with. You know, when you're going for Abscond Abduct, as long as you actually hold it until he's trying to abduct in, you can just throw out that fear and land it. Haymaker trying to time that with that big Q charge up. ZUIAN is Pun obviously still has his pot. ZUIAN has a couple of cookies, so he's not at risk of dying or anything, but Sett is looking like he's just going to take a base from this spot and really struggling to get this wave out into the middle. So isn't going to try to reset it, knows he wouldn't be able to get it fully pushed in. And I'm assuming that he grouped the minions before he based in the side brush, which would mean that it would be pushing towards him, and maybe he can start to abuse the Sion a little bit more, because the longer it goes without you actually dying as the Sion, the more comfortable you get. Once you have enough points in your Q and your W, you're kind of just one-shotting waves and chilling, and you just refuse to ever fight him. And then Sett can have a hard job in a team fight making things happen.
Well, BA is going to be able to get a little bit of a snare onto fengyue, but that's all that's really going to come from that one. Tian made his way down towards the bottom side, but not really much doing there, as the Drake has been taken by Tian early every single game so far this series, and is now waiting for Daejeon to move over. He does get wind of where the monkey is. But Hizto, he's just going back, not really too bothered about where the Drake is at the moment.
Yeah, both junglers just kind of power farming it up.
Unstoppable Onslaught does come on through here as Pun with a bunch of that grit built up. There's the Haymaker and the flash to get out of the way of it. Very nicely done there from ZUIAN.
I feel like Pun might add him if he flashed for it, but not feeling comfortable to risk it.
Yeah, runs towards getting the proc and the plate, and we'll just back away. Holding onto the flash advantage, yeah, like you were saying. I think it's interesting that he holds onto it himself, and I think understanding that the more they just keep the wave like this, the more he just wins.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of Sett players in a position like that will W flash, because if they can redirect and get that true damage down, he might have actually had the kill. Of course, there is risk associated with that. You can be ganked. You know, Sion is still going to get the wave in zombie form, and if you misjudge it and you miss the true damage, you're definitely not killing him, and then you're just wasting your summoner. But Pun does hold on, and now the question is going to be, can he find another opportunity where he can set up a look for a kill or just try to really extend this lead?
Well, Top Esports now just pushing here towards this bottom side. It feels like top lane is all about the whales right now, but elsewhere, things are just fine for Top Esports. They have a composition that certainly does scale quite nicely as we get further into this game as well. Especially if ZUIAN is going to keep himself alive, as mirrored as far as the leads are concerned.
Yeah, so I mean, it's nice that Pun has this advantage, but Creme is building just as big of an advantage in mid lane, so it's not. It doesn't feel like it's enough just yet. Of course, there's always the X factor of a Sett.
Yeah, looking for the angle here as the beat drop is not quite going to work out. That True Shot Barrage doing so much work. JackeyLove gets the heal back though, and Eddie in trouble. Tries to get into the brush, he does so. Has the barrier, but he doesn't have his life. First blood over to Jackie, and he's looking for another one. The arrow will connect. The volley to finish off the Karma, and they turn around this bottom lane beautifully.
Yeah, that was really well done there by TES. And if you're going to shift in there as Eddie, you cannot miss a skill. Because if you go in, you are going to get ran down by this Ashe, and he finds out, he shifts in, and Jackie's just going to fully commit to it. You can flash away, but you're still slowed, so he just flashes to follow, chases after him, gets the level up, gets a second kill, and just like that, Jackie out to a significant advantage, and TES up 1,000 gold here, and ZUIAN has just parked that wave permanently outside his tower.
It is really feeling like they fell off the tightrope just a little bit here. As you were mentioning it earlier on, it was the advantage towards the top side for Pun, and Jackie, fengyue are going to move their way up here, and the Unstoppable Onslaught is going to get flashed. Pun's going to see what he can do as far as escaping. He avoids everything! All right, there's the fancy feat, and he just wanders his way out. Jackie thinking about diving the turret, but I don't think he wants to do so. Man, that's a cool guys don't look at explosions type move there from Pun.
That was really well done by Pun, survives, but still at the end of the day, it's going to be the Sion now going back to bot. Sett has to walk out towards top now, and he's going to be in a 1v2 where he can't really do anything, and he has no flash, so he can't threaten an all-in whatsoever. So TES, their bot lane winning relieves the pressure, and this is where I'm talking about. Watch Eddie. So they go for the tether, they set it up, but the barrier is there, and then everything whiffs as he shifts forward.
Yeah.
Like, you have got to look for 100 to 0 there, or it's just not going to work because you have no consistent damage after you go in. Clearly their whole idea was, I commit to the tether, everything hits thereafter, then we get the kill. But if you don't get him low enough, if you miss a single skill shot, you're out of damage, and Ashe is never going to run out of damage. She's going to chase you down.
Yeah, and I also think you don't have to do that, right? Like,
Take
just
the chunk.
Yeah, and also just get to 2 items and then make something happen. As there's a suplex as they look for Jackie and they find him. Pun, couple of punches, and down goes the Ashe. So immediate revenge. Eddie's like, thanks, brother. And they are able to get this set rolling.
Well done there. Hizto gets set up for success by that ultimate.
Yeah.
Pun slams Jackie in, and they're able to punish the missing flash. Even without Pun having his flash, I didn't think Jackie would give him an angle, but he finds it anyway.
All right, well, let's see whether they can translate that into more, as at least there is a crash here. So Pun going to have that wave moving back towards him eventually. Still holding on to that 20 CS advantage, but now 830 gold going to be his lead. Very close to item number 1 as well, and that is where the set is really going to start becoming devastating. Dire, level 9 now, hasn't really hijacked anything of note just yet. As even the Spiraling Despair can do a lot of work if stolen away from this Hwei as well. So
yeah,
looking forward to seeing what Dire can actually do this game, or whether he's going to be able to get an improved performance from what we saw in game number 2.
Yeah, I mean, the Cyclone's okay. I feel like Ashe Arrow and Encore are probably the best ones to steal for sure. Because Hwei, Hwei, a lot of the damage is when you hit multiple spells and then you proc the passive, but since you're not actually able to steal multiple spells, you can throw out the Spiraling Despair, which is some good AoE damage, but definitely looking in towards that Encore, I think, especially.
Yeah, the Encore when paired with a Sett as well, because the way like the ultimate works, like it's very linear, so you can predict where it is, get the extension. And I think there are some combos that Team Secret Whales can play around as this game goes on, with the Sylas and the Sett being sort of those bash brothers. Because this is a very melee composition, right? It's a melee composition in Eddie. And we'll see whether they can actually make it work, because there are a lot of champions that are very happy to play into low range, namely Ashe. And so it can be very hard to play if they start falling behind. Also, Creme on this Hwei, right? Like, this is kind of his bread and butter, right? Hold them in position and just wail your damage down.
Yep, and we'll see if they're going to be able to do that. I mean, it's really, again, so much about positioning, about the initial start of the fight, because if you just try to walk straight at Creme, he's going to hit you with the fear, you're going to get Ashe Arrowed, you're going to get Cyclone, there's going to be so many tools, but they have to make really sure that ZUIAN does not line up to give Sett a good ult, because that can just be completely fight winning. If you dunk Sett onto this Hwei and this Ashe, it is going to be devastating. But at the same time, if you're just trying to kind of walk forward, it's a very binary composition here from TSW. It's 3 melee guys getting sped up by a Karma, but you have to get through all of these disengage tools that are going to be really tough, I think, for TSW to deal with if they're just running straight at them.
Yeah, I think there's more steps to the teamfight process here for Team Secret Whales, but I trust them after that game number 1. Certainly showed that they are here to play. And I think that Pun is in a great position to make stuff happen. Yes, Creme and Jackie have decent advantages right now, but it hasn't actually spelt a gold lead with the advantage that this Sett has put together for himself. As ZUIAN still doing a great job, like still sitting at 0-0-0, right? It was Jackie that fell down towards that top side, so the Sion is just fine, and he just needs to be a brick wall as this game continues.
Yep, I mean, he is absolutely doing his job. He got counterpicked. He managed the wave really, really well, so it didn't become a huge problem. Yeah, you're going to go down farm. That's just how the matchup works.
Yep.
But he never allowed Sett to just constantly reset the wave and get it to neutral, really abuse his power early, where Sion cannot compete at all. And now Sion is at the point of the game where he has one completed item. You're not just going to get one shot. You can continually clear out those waves, and as long as you're not letting Sett farm plates, he's going to one-shot every wave and just kind of keep this lead right where it is. So Pun now has the difficult choice. okay, I can't extend my lead in the 1v1. Do I start roaming? Like, that might not be that effective. Do I just kind of accept it and keep farming and hope we can outplay in the team fight? It just becomes a little bit more complicated.
Yeah, feels a little difficult as Tian's making his way over towards BA, but not going to be able to get an angle here as the first Cloud Drake is upon us. We'll be finding out what the soul is after this. Double Dragon on the table for TSW, but it looks like Top Esports with control. fengyue going down very low, though, as Eddie finds him with that True Shot barrage. As in goes Hizto! Finds a beautiful Crescent Guard to break up the fight, and now Creme is completely offside. Has to flash to get out of the way, but the Ashe arrow is going to fly through. PA's the one to tank that one up, but there is a suplex, and they take down Tian. Should be that Double Dragon going on over as Dire is fighting Creme once again. So much spiraling despair, but it's Top Esports that are the saddest in the end.
Absolutely are here. Eddie, though, could be in some trouble, has the shift, gets over the wall. They're going to go mid, so they win the fight here. They get the dragon, and they have mid prio.
Not to mention it's Chemtech Soul with a Sett in the game. That sounds ridiculous.
And
now,
Karma.
Yeah, Hizto looking for an angle towards ZUIAN as well as Eddie. Arcane shifts forward, gets over that wall. It's going to be Hizto that locks down the kill onto the Sion. This game has just fallen apart in an instant for Top Esports.
That was brilliantly played, and so much of it was actually the damage that Eddie got down onto fengyue before anything happened. He hit that True Shot barrage.
Yeah.
Look at the health here. So this angle, right over the wall, they don't see him. fengyue gets chunked down, and Hizto says, guess what? You don't get to walk out for free. W flash over the wall, instant Crescent Guard. Sure, fengyue gets off the Encore, but it's only hitting Hizto, who had already gotten his damage down. Creme can never enter. Look at the minimap. Look where Creme is. The super fed Hwei, he's over here. He can't even join up with the rest of the squad.
And Tian just walking at him, man.
Exactly, just walks him down, steals the ulti, and is able to win that fight. And we got to go back to live where fengyue is in trouble once again.
Oh, Hizto. fengyue is going to be taken out here, but Tian might be soon to follow. ZUIAN is actually going to be turned on. Hizto just wants to hit things, man. His spear is angry. And Team Secret Whales now looking for an angle towards this Rift Herald, and I think they will be able to get it with a support now down. Best they can hope for on the side of Top Esports is a 4 versus 5, and I don't think they're taking that because even when it was even, it did not look very good as Eddie picks up this wave in mid lane. And speaking of things not looking very good, I mean, you're about to hit the 2-item spike for the Ezreal, and let's have a look at this top lane in our Coinbase gold grind. And also in the game itself, as we were talking about how he was holding the wave so nicely, blah, 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 but now it's a 1.2k lead.
Yep, every time he has gone for those actual fights, he has been the one cashing out. ZUIAN not able to really get anything from that fight. By the time he arrived, it was already kind of cooked. And the setup was just way better for TSW, and that's something that Top, generally in the LPL, are really good at, I feel like, is their objective setups. And this time, Creme was completely split off. ZUIAN, wasn't there with them at all. And they just kind of got torn apart very quickly. And Pun was able to find a good ult onto Tian, just finish him off. They're holding on to this mid wave. And they're right back into a similar position that they were in game number 1, where they're the ones dictating the pace. Their top side has this huge advantage. Hizto and Pun want to fight. Yeah,
Hizto is just always going in, man. Tian is going to be able to use that Warrior Trickster to get himself out of the way. But I love watching Hizto playing from ahead. He is a completely different player. This guy only moving forward, only going in and putting that extra pressure down. However, it is going to be Top Esports grouping up, taking down the outer turret in the mid lane. And that gold lead is dissipating ever so slowly. It's Team Secret Whales wanting to try and get this game accelerated. Top Esports doing a decent job slowing it down.
Yeah, they are. E-Ray is pushing on the bot side to try to get something back. I felt like the Crescent Guard in that last fight was pretty preemptive from Hizto. It wasn't really a committed fight yet. So once he had that down, they kind of realized, you know what, TES, we can just push up. We can force this turret out. Eddie tried his best to clear out the wave, but couldn't quite do it. And Pun knows he has no vision on this side of the map. We haven't seen some of the top members, so it has been kind of in this awkward spot where he's just watching minions die, not comfortable to walk up and actually try to reset this wave against ZUIAN until he sees JackeyLove showing up mid, until he's going to see Creme down on bot side. So now finally he can go back to trying to push this one in.
Well, Dairy going to get spotted with the hawk shot, but he has a wave there as Pun just collects some plates. Haymaker just going to fly on forward, and this set is pretty comfortable right now, but the CS advantage has not moved, right? I think that ZUIAN has just been very, very good in the lane, even if the team fights haven't been working out. So the Sion should be able to continue doing his job, double Swifties for both of these top laners as well. I really do like Swifty gamers. As the knock-up is going to come on through here from the Sion. Pun doesn't look too worried about it, although is worried about potentially having some friends move up here and wants to play respectfully. 35 seconds on the next dragon, and that is soul point available for Team Secret Whales. We'll see whether they can actually get a setup for it.
I'm going to be really interested to see where Pun goes from here. You know, if he goes Sterix, the more defensive option, or if he goes for Overlord's Bloodmail. Because if you go that route, you really can get the W flash or the full bar of True Grit, and you can pretty much one-shot someone. It is ridiculous how much true damage that deals if you can get that in on the back line.
I'm trying to remember where we saw it last in Korea. I think it might have been Chovy that played it. As a mid lane option in like Kesper Cup or something. No, he wasn't playing in Kesper Cup, so it wasn't there. But it might have been First Stand, or sorry, might have been the LCK Cup or something like that.
One of the cups.
It was one of the cups. It was some video games that were played of the League of Legends Persuasion prior to this game.
Look at D-Ray.
All right, looking for the angle. Can he find the right hijack? That's the question. The suplex gets in, lands onto 3. As D-Ray gets the choice, finds the encore. But the Cyclone is looking good here, and down he will go. Jackie's going to get taken out. The faces are being broken, and now Shelly gets involved. Hizto gets into the back line, knocks up Creme. He gets over the wall, though. It's Pun, pulls them in, gets the shield, and tries to walk it off the haymaker to keep him alive. This set is absurd, as Eddie is going to be able to finish him off in the end. Even Pun walking over to say, look, you didn't kill me. That's the ace for Team Secret Whales.
Holy, look at Pun go. He is just taking matters into his own hands. And it's going to be a 20-minute Baron off the back of this. Dunks the Sion into the whole team. And just like I was talking about, gets that full bar of his passive, W flash onto JackeyLove, deletes the Ashe, wins the fight, survives the damage from ZUIAN and fengyue, gets them the Baron, and they have a stranglehold on this game. In this fight, it is all about the Sett. Pun goes in, no hesitation. Look at this angle, right in, and then gets that stun on multiple members. Jackie has to flash out and watch the W flash. Full bar, W flash, true damage. It's a punch to the face, sends him back to base. And then from here you think surely he is dead, but he snaps in the support, kills off fengyue, has the haymaker back, absorbs just enough damage there to survive from the Sion. What a team fight. That was picture perfect from Pun.
This guy is just amazing. Pun picking whatever he wants and making it work. He's still getting run down though as the arrow is going to connect. He has to use the Crescent Guard, but it's pretty effective. As in he goes again. The faces are getting broken. Creme goes down and Pun lives on 10 health or something. Dyer able to get himself out of the way, or Dire, if I'm going to say it correctly, is ZUIAN trying to escape, does so. And this inner turret not going to be falling just yet, but I mean, it just feels like we're getting a show from Team Secret Whales here in Game 3. There's the encore. I don't even know whether Top Esports want to see it again.
Yeah, not that angle. Not going to be able to find it. As again, Pun just finds the perfect angle, and he has gone Overlord's Bloodmail, and it is complete.
Yep.
So if you were enjoying the set already, get ready for the show, because this makes the damage so ridiculous. As you get lower, you get more AD, you get AD based on your HP. Every item you are building is stacking health, and you get a comical amount of damage on the W flash with this build. We're expecting Sterix. You're basically just anything that is health and AD, that's what you want to build.
I think the last time I saw this come in, it was immediately followed by a Warmogs.
Yep.
But I don't know whether that is going to be the choice here from Pun this time. As I haven't kept up on my set builds, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, you can go Sterix. Some people go Titanic. Some people go Warmog. Some people go Deadmans. There's lots of options.
I'm sure some people would go Proto Belt as well, because everyone loves that item.
At least
it's got health on it. There we go. It's okay. Jackie, let's see whether Dire can find himself an angle here. It looks like he's not even going to look for it, as at least Top Esports have sort of hunkered down. They are down 6,000 gold. They are hunkering as best they can, though. They've kept some inner turrets. Yes.
They're losing all the jungle.
At least there are no villagers in the villages. if that makes any sense at all. As the arrow is going to go wide. Tian with the Cyclone gets on top of Hizto. As Dire trying to do what he can to keep his jungler alive, but Hizto is going to be going down. Eddie now finds himself in an awkward spot, but a lot of damage onto this Seraphine. Man, fengyue has been magnetizing these Mystic shots, and it's really causing some issues, but it's a really nice pick to come through from Top Esports.
Well done. You know, they were kind of hunkering down, as you said, but they were losing their jungle as a result of that. But this time they chase down Hizto, they punish him for it. Pun just barely did not have TP for that fight. So they have been tracking the TP timer. I think they realized Sett is down on bot. He's not going to be able to respond to this. We'll force the play because Hizto is just getting so far ahead of Tian. He's 2 full levels up. You can't expect to win if you can't defend your jungle at least on one side. You need to be getting gold from somewhere. TES know it, so they are able to punish the Xin Zhao there.
Punished. I get it.
There you go.
As we did see the damage graph, and Pun has been doing a lot more damage than anyone on Top Esports at this point in time, and almost as much as an Ezreal.
He's 16 now too, so rank 3 ulti is even more terrifying.
Me. Yeah. So we are going to see some pretty explosive fights. Let's see whether Top Esports can fight around it though, right? Because I feel like they've kind of walked into the Sett value a couple of times so far. And whether they can play around it at all is going to be a big question, but they're going to have to if they want to get back into this game. 5,000 gold is not a meager amount of a lead that Team Secret Whales have. They're going to look for Soul Point. They will be able to collect it here. At least Top Esports got the last streak, so it's not Soul, and they're able to get a outer turret back for their trouble.
Yeah, they were trying to get objective bounties. The objective bounties actually just fell off before they took this tower. But now the objective bounties are coming back again because TSW got the dragon. And Dragons weighted very heavily in the objective bounty calculations. But TSW maintaining that 5,000 gold lead, and they are looking to get in towards that Soul. And you said it, Chemtech Soul with a Sett, kind of ideal.
Yeah.
This is a champion that wants to get low health with the Overlord's Bloodmail, get maximum value there, utilize the passive, sustain at low health. And you have Karma as well, you know, for the additional shielding on everyone.
I mean, if they manage to get the Chemtech Soul, I think Hizto should also build Bloodmail.
You know what? I'm down.
You may as well.
Why not?
You know, just
treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Capitalize.
You deserve it.
He also is, you know, ahead by over 1,000 gold. Maybe he has the luxury funds to make it work. But yeah, obviously, Pun is going to be the entire story of the rest of this game. And we'll see whether Top Esports have an answer for him. Right now, he's just hanging out towards the bottom side of the map. And so maybe the answer is fight while he's not there and try to stop him from doing a teleport. And ZUIAN can at least do that. Might sacrifice his life for it if he does try to interrupt. But still, this is an option. The inner turret is just one overgrowth proc away from falling down.
I feel like if I am a TES coach right now, I'm looking through all of Pun's solo queue accounts, all of his match history, and I am prepping 5 bans for this man. I am saying, no, you must play meta. Yeah,
we're going to see, like, it's going to be Volibear, Shen, Alawi, Urgot, like all of these ridiculous champions.
Then he's going to come out with Nasus.
Yeah,
he's going to do it to you anyway.
He's going to first pick Renekton. He's going to play the most boring champion and probably still do a great job. It's always the difficulty because most of the time these players can just go back to playing the meta stuff, and it's meta for a reason. That's all right. Team Secret Whales just trying to keep Top Esports away from this Baron pit. And if the map is dark, like these flank angles from Sett and from Sylas are just so devastating, especially if it gives you a good hijack angle. And wanting to get that encore is going to be a big deal, but also Enchanted Crystal Arrows, Cyclone, level 16 for the Sylas as well, so the hijack is on such a low cooldown that he can cycle through maybe a couple of these ults in the upcoming team fight. ZUIAN, don't play frontline, my friend, especially not if Pun is there, and he is now walking towards them. Spiraling Despair is the choice to start this one off for Dire.
And it's okay for them to start it up, but they don't need to overcommit because they can just play for Soul. Don't take anything too risky, but trying to get some chunk down on ZUIAN. He still is Sion, even though he's behind, and not going to be that easy to punch through. So TSW, just stay calm, continue playing the way you are playing. You have swept out Vision. You know, you just need to play for Soul. But Hizto feels like he really wants to force this. It just takes a long time for them to kill, and this is the riskiest part of the game here. If you're going to try to do a Baron, TS can definitely punish you.
Well, they're walking towards them now. Q is not going to quite find the angle here, as we can see. Eddie's Mystic Shots are actually doing a lot of work. He's gone Surreal as his third item as well, so he can actually do a decent amount to the Sion. Tian, though, is going to be the first one to go down. It's the decoy that they're looking for, but Diri finds the chains. ZUIAN going to have to flash away, but the 3-talent strike catches him, even over the wall. His face is broken, and down he goes. Pun is indeed unstoppable here in this game, and that should mean the Baron going over to Team Secret Wales.
Yeah, now it is not a flip. It is not risky. You kill the jungler, you kill the top laner, and they're going to be able to take this and have perfect timing to set up for the soul as well as D-Ray.
Yeah, going to be able to take the inner turret. Creme able to get himself out of the way. But man, this Baron is going to be pretty devastating. It is already the 6.5k gold lead, moving that one up to a 7.3k. As we'll have to keep our eye on the Rebel Baron power play and see how much that is going to improve as we see this one yet again.
And it's D-Ray on the flank. He has been positioned so well in these fights. He just came over the wall. Tian was trying to get in there, get some vision. I think he had to be a bit more patient, wait for a hawk shot, wait for ZUIAN to move first.
It wasn't a very secret monkey.
Exactly. He felt like they were going to be on the Baron already, that he needed to get up there, and D-Ray catches him with the sweeper over the wall, finds him. And ZUIAN, when he flashes over the wall, he quickly realized, wait, I can't actually follow my teammates out, because if I do, I'm giving Sett an ult onto my team. Yep. So he kind of had to just accept his death. And Pun just held on to that. Pun has flash, Pun has ult, and Pun has Asterix, and they're trying to walk through him.
All right, Facebreaker is going to miss, as now Tian thinks that's his opportunity to go in. Oh my lord, that was just the clone, but still. Haymaker doing a whole lot of work here, as we can see. Unstoppable Onslaught looking for Dire. He flashes himself out of it as maybe an overextension here, as now Hizto and Eddie looking for the movement on the side. I like it. You've got Pun flashing out of the way, actually, of the Ashe arrow, not wanting to tank that one up. This is Chemtech's soul, though. And the Ashe arrow has been picked up here by Dire as well. He throws it out immediately. There is the showstopper from Pun. He finds the Facebreaker. It is going to be Tian falling down first. Hizto getting into that front line as down goes the monkey. Finally, True Shot Barrage over everyone from Eddie. It is lights out for Creme, and the rest are going to follow. So ZUIAN is a zombie, and Eddie will be able to kill the Seraphine once again. It's a triple for the Ezreal. That's an ace for Team Secret Wales, and it's clean to boot, returning the favor from Game 2.
What a play here from TSW. They are about to take us to match point.
Match point. We haven't had a 4-game series so far here at MSI. If they manage to follow up this one, it will be our first, and we'll see whether they can to keep the LCP in the tournament.
Absolute insanity there. They try to force their way in, but Pun is too big, too strong.